As we welcome you in on this Friday episode, the final Friday of October, we're having to face a grim reality. Progressives are having to tackle a very depressing idea that a lot of people on the left are flat-out anti-Semites. In fact, we're seeing it all over the country. College campuses, city parks, communities, Jewish kids cowering in fear in a library in New York City. And speaking of New York, I thought it would be timely and appropriate to share with you Salem News Channel's Haley Bianco. She did a report yesterday on all the pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas demonstrations going on in New York City. Here's Salem News Channel's Haley Bianco.
In New York, I'm Haley Bianco, Salem News Channel. The nonprofit charity Code Pink held a pro-Palestinian rally outside of the New York Stock Exchange in Lower Manhattan Thursday evening. We were there to bring you a closer look. They called it Flood Wall Street for Gaza.
We're trying to tie the connection that Wall Street and American companies and the American military is financing this genocide.
The protest began with an info sheet and sticker distribution at 3 p.m. in Zuccotti Park. Around 5:30, the crowd marched from the park to the New York Stock Exchange, chanting, waving flags, and holding posters.
Free, free, free Palestine! So we want people to pressure their Congress members, their Senate members to call for a ceasefire and to stop sending military aid to Israel.
The large crowd gathered behind me is here supporting Palestinians, but there are some people here supporting Israel.
There are almost 300 kidnapped Israelis, children, babies, infants, Holocaust survivors that were taken from their homes or beds. Some of them had their families killed right in front of them. And to have these folks justifying those kind of actions is really offensive.
I think it's a big joke because Israel has been attacking innocent Palestinians for the last 70 years, and Hamas is finally retaliating, and they're retaliating by very little.
I think that these people just ignore the fact that Hamas literally, no hyperbole, beheaded babies, raped, and this is a horrible thing to say, corpses, and butchered people, cut out pregnant babies out of pregnant women's stomachs, that they think that that was justified by some grievance, which is beyond comprehension.
According to its website, protest host Code Pink is a feminist grassroots organization working to end U.S. warfare and imperialism while supporting peace and human rights initiatives and fighting to redirect resources into healthcare, education, green jobs, and other life-affirming programs.
Have we learned nothing from Iraq, Afghanistan? Do we just continue to play this imperialist playbook, or are we actually going to do something different and be on the right side of history?
Wearing a Friends hat. You know, Friends was made by a Jewish person, right? You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
There are no two sides to that kind of barbarity. Just like after 9/11, there were no two sides to 9/11.
On Code Pink's website and social media pages, you'll find photos of American leaders with nicknames. Here's a photo of President Biden, who Code Pink is calling Genocide Joe. Another of Secretary of State Antony Blinken. His nickname here is Bommin' Blinken. And a photo of Senator Chuck Schumer, who Code Pink refers to as Shootin' Schumer. Protests like the one we just showed you have been happening around the world since the Israel-Hamas war began on October 7th. Reporting in New York, I'm Haley Bianco, Salem News Channel.
Great work, Haley. And you know what's fascinating? In the middle of that report, you heard the young man interviewed by Salem News Channel say Hamas is finally retaliating and they're only doing it a little bit. I don't doubt for 1 minute that that young man, that protester, is oblivious or unaware of what Hamas actually did. That's the worst part of this. If I could convince myself that these these misguided, demented protesters spurred on by a group like Code Pink, which is a progressive activist far-left organization that's been around for many years in America. If I could convince myself that these people don't really believe the reports of babies being burned alive or beheaded, or children being raped, or young women being raped, and elderly people shot in the head, and families tied together and then executed. But see, the evil that we have to recognize is that they know it happened and they don't care. They think it's justifiable because of whatever sins they believe Israel is guilty of. This evil is right here in this country, and this evil comes from organizations like Code Pink. And let's face it, a whole lot of Democrats in this country are on the side of a group like Code Pink. It's one of the things we have to confront. Evil is here within our own borders, and we better have our eyes wide open, and we need to be prepared.